The Roxas Empire rivalry is a really big one.
Yep, and the VP BenQ, like Virtuous Pros, really starting to have a very strong lineup as well, with guys like Natron and Pommy, and well, Ever is on Roxas as well. Of course, I think it's safe to say that Russia right now has a big three, and the big three would be Happy, Slivko, Titan.
Oh, sure.
I think everybody would agree with that, but there are a lot of good players below that, and I would love to see them make a name for themselves, and I think eventually you're going to see more and more guys break through, kind of like how Bly managed to break through in Ukraine. Well, of course, back then it was all about Wydra, Dimas, Strelok.
Yeah. And, you know, the Ukrainian scene is so close to the Russian scene, you have to also kind of include those guys in those talks. There's so much depth in Eastern Europe in general.
You want to hear something crazy, by the way? Like, a lot of people always still remember Braddock as well as being one of the best Terran players. Of course, he was part of the NASL last season. Braddock did not manage to qualify for WCS Russia, and he did try like 2 to 3 times, and he didn't make it. And that really shows that the Russian scene is quite strong. If a player like Braddock is not able to make it to top 16 in his own country.
That's pretty killer.
It really is.
Really, really killer.
Certainly killer when you talk about Braddock. People have died for that.
Is Happy, where's Happy from?
Happy is Russian.
Okay.
I just said it.
Okay, okay. Making sure. I thought so. But oftentimes I'll call a Ukrainian guy Russian or a Russian guy Ukrainian, and then I'm like, oh God, they're going to send Braddock after me.
Noname ain't afraid to take a stand over here, man, as he is dropping the CC first, on the low ground even.
Yep, and he's going to get away with it because Johnnyrecco is going hatch first, and you can't really punish CC first with hatch first. You can try to go like for like some 35, 36 drone Baneling roach pressure if you want, but that's even going to be, you know, even that's going to be kind of slow, and usually, especially in today's metagame, Terran players, you know, their builds are set up to deal with that.
You know what always brings a big smile to my face, man? Is Zerg players kind of being mad about not being able to punish and expand first. It's like, guys, you go hatch first, what can we do about it?
You can do things.
Yeah, you can do things too. You can take another hatch against CC first.
You can cannon rush.
Yeah, but players have gone so good against cannon rush, man. Even I have stopped doing it. It's just...
I still think cannon rush is something that you should play around with.
It depends. I really think it depends when you warp in the forge. Like if you go for a very early forge, like a 13 forge, then I think it's still good. Or maybe 14, but a 16 forge is just not going to cut it anymore. Players are too good against it.
Well, you don't even have to commit to it though, because if you can force somebody to pull 4 or 5 drones, that's almost worth it by itself.
Yeah, but you delay your attack so much, and well, we're analyzing PvZ right now. We shouldn't talk too much about it, but. I think the biggest problem is that you delay attack too much, so you give Zerg so much more freedom to drone up after that, that perhaps the small advantage you take in the start is going to be a bigger disadvantage later on, because you're just too late with any sort of pressure.
Well, then I guess you should just Void Ray all in.
Yeah, against Terran you should. That's so sick, man. Every time I stream, people are watching, they're like, Rotty, go Void Ray all in. Like, I'm trying to get away with it. I'm trying to become a better person. Then all the time, everything people...
You try to get out, but they just keep pulling you back in.
Yeah, man. It's kind of like how we always try to eat somewhere else, but somehow always end up at Chili's over here. Like, whichever restaurant we choose for lunch, it's closed. Chili's just pulling us in. That's kind of like me and the guys on my stream. I want to go for the nice macro game. I want to go Nexus first, and they're like, no, Rotty, Void Ray all in. Like, okay, guys. Okay.
Okay. Okay, meme.
Okay. Or like genius.
Genius.
Genius. Genius is the best meme there is out there.
Okay, face is still the best meme. I don't care what you say. Johnnyrecco, staying on gas after his first 100, so he might have some bad intentions here. Also hasn't tried taking a third yet.
If only he would know that Noname is dropping that additional command center already in his main base, man. He is going to get Factory and Hellions out as well, so those Hellions will give him a little bit of map control. But Noname is playing an extremely greedy Terran style over here. You're not going to get that much more greedy than this.
Just waiting to see the Roach Warren go down. Where is it? As Johnnyrecco's still on gas. What are you going to do with this, Johnnyrecco? Takes another assimilator even.
He's setting out the drone, and he's still going to drop the hatchery.
Alright, so...
Oh, if those Hellions were only there 10 seconds quicker, they could have denied the hatch for a little bit.
Maybe just wants to drop Evo chambers and get his upgrades going.
Yeah, that's probably it. He's 9 workers ahead right now, but that third command center did finish up. It's probably going to be upgraded to an Orbiter immediately. I have to say, Ben, I'm liking Noname's opening so far. He's not afraid to take a risk against a player like Johnnyrecco, who I think, needless to say, is the favorite for many people.
Yeah, I certainly agree with you. Roach Warren does finally go down, though, and Noname's going to have to be careful. He's got No tech lab on his racks. Overlord's going to float in here and see all of this. He's going to see the third command center, and we've got a lot of gas saved up. Enough gas for 12 roaches, Kev.
But the first Banshee is already almost out.
You know, obviously a Banshee's going to kill roaches eventually. But well, I just want to see what Johnnyrecco chooses to do. He's also got double Evo, so it might just be
I think he's just going to play a macro game.
I'm kind of starting to feel the same way. He's still producing a lot of drones. I really don't get it. He still hasn't started layer double upgrades. There's layer. There's double upgrades. All right, now it makes sense. So
that is very late layer, though.
Something Zergling-centric, maybe Roachling Infestor, kind of Inertio style. This is going to put him pretty behind, though. I mean, we can see that he's only about 10 workers ahead, and it's against triple orbital.
He has 17 links, but the moment that these two queens would fall, he's not going to have enough units to deal with all these Hellions. If only there would have been a second Banshee already. Is that single Banshee all there is ever going to be? Yes, it is.
We are going to get 3 spores, though, so I think Johnnyrecco is going to be safe, although economically this is not terrible for Noname.
No, not at all. Certainly because that command center is already in position. Like StarEagle was just building them over here. Noname built it in his main, but he's going to get away with it as he has absolute map control right now. The first roaches are on the map for Johnnyrecco, but so far so good by Noname.
Might see a little bit of Banshee Hellion pressure here at the front, but with Roachling Queen out, it's not going to really. It has basically no chance of doing damage. Double eBay follow up here for Noname, who's going to really ramp up the barracks production. He's got 5 racks down, and he's building a 6th. So, going to see a lot of Marines. Tech lab also on the way. Or I'm sorry, STEM also being researched in the tech lab.
Yeah,
it's still early, man.
It is still early for us. For the people wondering, is this live for you guys right there? It is live, as in it is around 11 or 12 in the morning. Well, it's not morning anymore. We woke up at like 8:30, which is a nightmare, man. I'm not used to waking up that early.
I woke up at 8, man. I woke up at 8, and I went over to my alarm clock, set it for 8:45, and went back to bed.
Like, it certainly sucks, because by the time that we go to bed, games can't start, and then you're always like, one more game. I have to wake up early, but I just want to watch one more game. I'll do one more game, and before you know it, it's 3 a.m. and you have to wake up at 8.
You're falling asleep to the sweet sounds of Mouse Kylaris.
And day 9.
That's right.
Sweet dreams, guys.
Funny story. When StarCraft 2 first came out, obviously day 9 was like the only guy producing content. I used to put on a daily and go to sleep every night.
No. Sweet. Johnnyrecco is going to finally try to deal with these Hellions as he scares them away just in time. Banshee's going to be able to have well, this is a little bit risky. Bring those bring those Banelings, I want to say, but Noname not paying attention, losing his only Banshee.
A little careless.
And that's very careless, because those queens would have never been able to make it out across the map in time. So that Banshee could have basically picked off any Banelings or Roaches that would have ever been hit.
Kited all day long. Baneling speed's finishing, 2-2s coming, as is Pathogen Glands. Kevin, we might see a big +2 Baneling bust. Now, Stefano did something like this at Assembly last year against Puma in the final. He said, hey, I have this Infestor Baneling bust that's unstoppable. This was around the time that Damaga was also talking about his 2-2 Infestor, or I'm sorry, 2-2 Baneling bust with Mutas.
Didn't he play Puma in the semis? Because he played Polt in the final?
I'm sorry, Polt in the final. Yeah. But I think he did it against Puma.
Yeah, because he won against Puma.
Yeah. But
I remember that. And he started building hatcheries in the middle of the map.
Yep. But actually, I don't think we're going to see that at all as Hive does go down. I was getting kind of excited, because these are really cool builds. The Infested Terrans absorb the tank shots. Banelings just roll in and crush everything. And then you just reinforce with limbs.
Yeah, it's Dimaga's build originally.
Yeah, Damaga did it with Mutas.
I like that build a lot. It was very cool. It was a sick big bust with 2-2. Nice links over here for Johnnyrecco. We're going to spot this medevac. So far, both players have played very, very safe to say. Neither player has really committed to anything yet. Both players are just macroing up. Well, I can't help to feel that Noname must be satisfied with how this game went so far. I'm not sure if Johnnyrecco is super satisfied. He did drone up quite freely, he has a good economy, he has units all around, and he never took a lot of damage. But there is going to be one really super scary army before Johnnyrecco is probably going to have the units to deal, or before Johnnyrecco is going to have the units that he really wants. I think Noname will be able to muster out one time a super scary army in a scary position.
Johnnyrecco with some burrowed Banelings in the middle of the map. I'm really eager to see what that turns into.
Oh, I can't help to feel that I think they're going to be pretty successful.
All comes down to whether or not Noname throws down that scan.
Oh, he does throw down the scan. That's so big. He's going to stim in immediately. Ah, this is a little bit sloppy. Flies in medevac full of Marines right into 2 spore crawlers. But this could have ended a lot worse than it did.
Queen will deal with that last Marine pretty easily.
That
oh,
fungal.
Massive fungal. Is Johnnyrecco going to go for it? He's got units on all sides. And instead he's just going to dance around with infestors and use fungal.
That was such a great fungal. Don't think you can kill many more Marines than that with one fungal.
23 Marines, Kev. That's how many kills that infestor has.
No.
Yep. He is a metamorph.
How can it has to be a metamorph?
Another dropship is going to fly right into a spore crawler. Queen is also there, and Johnnyrecco.
Spores are so good in defending drops.
Absolutely they are. And, I mean, Noname's still maxed out, still has a terrifying army, still has 4 command centers.
And it's only going to be, well, it's going to be 4 Ultras right now. The first time they are really going to fight. If you take a look at the armies play, it's 11 tanks, 1 Marauder, and 56 Marines. So I think, needless to say, if the infestors will die against the tanks, I think Noname has a pretty good chance, but it's all going to come down to his Marine splits.
We'll see. There's a lot of Baneling, Zergling, and then the Ultras are going to add some really substantial depth to the army as well. Oh, unfortunate infestor there. Goes for it, tries to fungal and just gets smacked by those siege tanks.
A couple of Banelings detonating on a few Marines over here.
Johnnyrecco will probably go for it as soon as these Ultras join his units at the front. I love the way Noname is doing this push, being very patient, spreading out his tanks,
he's not
leapfrogging forward.
Definitely not pulling a Strelok, as we like to call it, whereas, careful, that's a lot of Marines, Noname.
Don't lose those Banelings, those are very important units. Johnnyrecco also being incredibly patient. He's maxed. I guess he just wants these last 2 Ultras to spawn. And are we going to see him go for it? No, he's still biding his time, wants to wait for the perfect moment. Incredible patience. Johnnyrecco is going to come from 1, 2, 3, 4 sides.
But these tanks are too split out, I think. I think it's not going to get much better than this.
I think it's just almost a perfect army for fighting against Ultras. Here we go. Johnnyrecco coming in from every angle. Lings and Ultras from... Again, 4 angles, but like you said, Kevin, that's a beautiful split on these siege tanks. Infestors get some pretty good fungals off.
Noname.
But the Ultras are going to fall, and that is an excellent, beautifully executed push. What do you even call it?
Is this a push?
It's a slow push.
Fort base defense. These roaches are going to fall. Marine so low on HP. Baning gets close, but not close enough.
I call this aggressive defending, where he just pushes forward and defends. And pushes forward and defends.
He's passive aggressive. As Chance is running through the studio, going nuts.
Obviously very excited by that little engagement there. 7 more Ultras are on the way, but I don't know if Johnnyrecco really has what he needs to deal with the medevacs.
This time the split is not as sick as pre-4, so perhaps right now if Johnnyrecco is going to go for it, he might be able to deal with his army.
All or nothing right here. Noname still with the supply lead, but this is a pretty good attack. Ling's going to surround everything. Ultras all melt away. 3 more going to join the party a little bit late. Is it enough? Ooh, it is going to be enough. He kills the last of the siege tanks, and Noname's going to be forced to retreat back to his planetary.
The Marauder count is climbing now as well. It's 9 Marauders already on the field. Only 3 siege tanks remaining. I must say, every single time Johnnyrecco is taking these fights, he's always bringing queens and dropping excellent transfusions on these Ultras. I think that's something we're going to see more and more and more in the future.
As the game continues to evolve, yes, you're absolutely right. Transfuse is a really... I mean, it almost seems like an overpowered ability, quite frankly, because it's not a slow heal like you get with medevacs. It's like a quick burst heal, and it keeps powerful units like Broodlords and Ultras alive so long.
Still think that Noname so far is putting up such an excellent fight against Johnnyrecco, who's going to try to make something happen. A little bit indecisive there. Will probably end up paying the price and lose 1 Ultra.
Nice fight here for Noname. Doesn't actually kill anything, but does a lot of damage to the retreating Zerg army. At the same time, some Marines making their way over into this rebuilding, we'll call it the 4th base of Johnnyrecco. Lings are going to show up and chase it away, but not before the hatchery was cancelled.
Minimum investment and maximum result right there for Noname. And it's crazy how Noname is not like overly super eager to take the middle. Huh? He's just taking his time. Now adding 2 starports already as well. Right on the moment the Greatest Spire is morphing for Johnnyrecco. I'm impressed with our Russian Terran, man.
Yeah, he's playing a really, really great game of StarCraft. Like we said in the beginning, just showing us the depth of that Russian StarCraft scene. And Johnnyrecco, he cannot attack into this. This is a planetary. This is a ton of Marine Marauder.
The only thing I would like to see Noname do is transfer a few SCVs to the middle of the map. But I guess he was afraid for fungals from the high ground.
Infestors, I think, is probably the reason that we're not seeing that. The army that Johnnyrecco has built is not very good against the army that Noname has. It's 12 Ultras against 7 tanks and 19 Marauders with Marine medevac support.
And tanks are going to be on +3 now as well.
I mean, these Ultras are going to die so fast. We really need to see the Broodlord switch. It is on the way, though.
Yeah, but he's on the way, but he's gonna have to take a fight because he's gonna have to free up supply. He's gonna nice pickup right there by Noname, picks up an infestor, and they soaked up quite a few fungals. Another one.
The third almost dies.
Wow. Skin of his teeth. 2 HP.
Could still go down if Noname's paying attention, but in fact, that infestor will live again. Marines over here on the right side of the map will.
Oh, focus the hatch, Noname.
Absolutely.
Whoa, he could have killed it so easily.
Looking away from those units, and the hatchery will survive.
Perhaps he's going to be able to pick off the hatch on the left top side of the map instead, but he could have. Well, he didn't really stim in time. Man, those links are strong.
Really beautiful patience from both of these players. And Noname again sends units over to the right side of the map. He is going to get the hatch this time.
This was actually good for Johnnyrecco because he freed up a little bit of supply. And this time now he will be able to get out 6 Broodlords. And that's going to make his army so much stronger than it was. Noname still dropping though. He's going to be able to pick up both hatches. Picked up over here.
Killer game. Noname showing us some this is, in my opinion, this is textbook Antigua Terran, where you just kind of fight over the middle and then like kind of fan out off of this and deny side expands.
Now I feel that with those Broodlords, that Johnnyrecco's army might be too strong.
It might be. We are getting Vikings out 3 at a time, but these are only the first 3 that are coming at this immediate moment, and there are 6 broods out. There's a lot of corruptors behind them, so more broods can be morphed.
Not a lot of infestors though. Only 2 infestors on the map.
I don't think there's an answer to the broods. Period. This is actually really, really scary right now. Noname's put a beautiful game at this point, but is going to lack in, he just doesn't have the firepower for the Broodlords. Corruptors will easily pick off these Vikings as they come out.
Yeah, Noname losing a couple of Vikings one by one. All these Ultras making their way over to the top side of the map.
At the top of the map there. It's up at 12 o'clock. Ultras are really choked up, but they will eventually get through and deal with the medevac.
I was already watching it back. No.
Brood's still shelling this expansion in the center. Killing a lot of the SCVs there. Every one of these broods with 3, 2, 4, 5, 6 kills. Planetary is starting to rack up some kills of its own as it picks off these broodlings. SCVs no longer allowed to mine. They're forced to just repair. Noname should consider trying to take this bottom right main base, I think.
I think so as well. These couple of these Marauders will pick up an Ultra, try to pick up some more. Noname needs to free up supply. He needs way more Vikings if he wants to win the air battle, which he's not doing so far. As we have 11 Corruptors on the map right now, 4 more on the way. Johnnyrecco is playing this excellent.
Yeah, he's got a ton of minerals, but not much gas. He really needs to. He needs to secure some extra Vespene geysers, quite frankly.
It's going to be harder and harder for Noname to keep this base alive, and that's pretty much the only real mining base that he has.
He's going to go for it. Noname going to come in from 2 sides here.
Oh, whoa.
Marines and Marauders from every angle. The Vikings also doing battle with the Corruptors. Does Johnnyrecco have enough?
Fight for Noname.
Oh man, Siege Tank's doing great work. Huge fungals going down on the bio. The broods though are still alive, and that is going to be a prop. No, there's actually no. There's nothing left to defend him, and more Vikings are going to pop out. And Noname has taken the middle of the map. This is huge. It's going to deny these critical gas expansion here in the middle of the map. Oh, this is such a key point. Holding this Xel'Naga tower is so important right now. Johnnyrecco knows it, but
Johnnyrecco has still so much more money than Noname, though. That was a great fight for Noname, but I still think that Johnnyrecco perhaps has a slight advantage because of the bank that he has.
He did just produce 11 Corruptors, Kev. That uses up all of his gas. But he is still mining in the middle. He still has gas at his third base, still has gas in his natural. His main is out, but he's secured a new base up in the top left.
Scan goes down by Noname immediately, and I think Johnnyrecco is aware of that as well, so he's getting a lot of links. Look at how active he is with links, splitting them up immediately. Broodlord's very exposed. He's going to end up losing quite a few of them. Great fungals, though.
Beautiful fungal, but is it going to be enough? Ling's going to come streaming in as well. Oh, gosh. Noname is doing this so nicely. He's got SCVs underneath everything trying to repair, but
those fungals, they really turned the tides. That allowed Johnnyrecco to get a lot of big shots off with all those Corruptors, and Noname just does not have the money to replace those amount of units.
He is very broke right now, only recently allowed to start mining at this center expansion again, and Corruptors will come forward and chase away the Vikings and the medevacs once again, and while there are only 4 Broodlords out, it's enough to make Noname surrender this position in the middle of the map. He did try to send some Marines and Marauders up to deny this expansion in the top left, but Zerglings are all over it. Johnnyrecco playing some excellent StarCraft. What a game this has been.
Johnnyrecco is so good in managing his economy. I really think that's the best thing about him. He's always so rich for some reason that he doesn't really sacrifice a lot of units. While people often think like, oh, you can sacrifice few units if you're rich. Having a bank can be pretty nice as well, and that really proves it, because Noname had a great engagement earlier on.
Yeah,
but the bank is just what made the difference.
He's been so patient. So many times with that big Ultra Ball, he could have run in and lost everything, but instead he was running back and forth, trying to be safe. Finally, when he did take a fight, he took an okay fight. He traded pretty well. Now he's up 80 supply against Noname and is threatening to crush this last mining expansion. Noname, oh no, he's going to tap out. He had just taken the bottom right, but he's gonna GG. And Johnnyrecco keeps the streak alive. What a great game from the Russian Terran.
Really, really great game from both sides. I really enjoyed it a lot. Excellent TVZ on Antigua.
Yeah, I could not agree more. Very exciting. That is Johnnyrecco's fourth win?
Third win.
Third win. So he's going to go into game
8. I think game number 8 is coming up right now.
Is really hard, man.
And I believe that the next player up is going to be Aces Bly, one of the guys who's actually in IEM right now, or at IEM in Cologne, Germany.
Playing from the LAN?
Yes, but he still wants to join in. So Bly is up next against Johnnyrecco. Some super high level ZVZ coming up. Should be a lot of fun. Camera 2 is over there. We'll be right back. Small commercial break. Stay tuned.